episode finish. And then I went to get a chippy tea. So it's been about 45 minutes, I think, since the episode finished for me. So I have already started to mull my thoughts over a little bit, but I haven't looked at anything online. I don't know what the general consensus is on this episode and on some of the ideas and concepts it introduces to the show. But yeah, so I'll be eating during this video. But people do that in ASMR videos, don't they? Some might call it unprofessional, but I call it authentic. Anyway, the episode, my first thoughts, my first reaction coming out of it was mostly positive. I enjoyed the stuff with the toy maker, especially in his sort of dollhouse domain. I thought that was all very creepy, and the puppet stuff was very creepy. I thought Neil Patrick Harris was good. But he didn't blow me away. I wasn't quite sure what all the stuff with his changing accents and all that was about, to be honest. But he was good. The big thing, I'm going to cut straight to the chase, because the big thing people are going to be talking about with this episode is the bi generation. I don't know if I like it as an idea, but it is what it is. I'm not going to throw a hissy fit, and I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think I hate it, but I don't know that I love it. The thing that disappoints me about the idea is that I wasn't surprised, because it had been leaked, and I was disappointed that I knew that, despite the fact that I hadn't looked at the leaks. I hadn't seen them, but I still knew what they were, because people talked about the leaks. They talked about things that were being rumoured very openly on Twitter. I've talked a little bit in previous videos about the way people talk about Doctor Who online and my relationship with Doctor Who, Twitter and such. And that was something I really sort of, for all three episodes, but specifically for this one, has been a real annoying, the bi-generation thing is going to be a massive surprise, and it just wasn't, because I kind of expected it. It's an interesting idea. I'll have to rewatch the episode and we'll have to see how it plays out. I don't know what I think of it at the moment. I don't hate it. I don't love it. We'll see how we'll see. I don't know. I suppose that leads us into Shooty Gatwa. I'm sure for a lot of people, people are really gonna love him. I enjoyed Shooty in this episode. I wasn't what's the word? I wasn't blown away by him in this. It was good. He was good. But it's such an interesting first episode for a Doctor, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I will await to see how he is in the Christmas special and the next series. I thought he was good in this, but he didn't blow me away. don't know. My thoughts are very, very scattershot, and I don't know. The previous videos have been about 20 minutes. I don't really know that I can coherently talk about this episode for 20 minutes now, because I really don't know what to make of it. As I say, my overall impressions were positive. I liked the stuff with the toy maker. I liked the way he challenged the Doctor. I didn't really see the need for the Spice Girls music scene. It's a very Russell T Davies thing to do, but I just didn't really get the point of it within the context of the episode. But I do think that this will satisfy people in terms of being a 60th anniversary celebration. That's something I've seen the last couple of weeks, especially with Wild Blue Yonder last week. So people saying, yeah, these episodes are good, but they don't feel like anniversary specials. But this episode delivered on that, I think. You know, you had lots of references to the current series, references to the old series. Of course, you've got Mel in there. The villain is a villain from the 1960s. Lots of really interesting dialogue references and stuff. And so I think it will satisfy people on in that regard. And I think this episode is really feels like the anniversary special. The other two are just great bonuses, but this one feels like the anniversary special, not only because it celebrates the show, but also in a similar way to what Day of the Doctor did with like the War Doctor, and the way it dealt with the Time War and it resolved that. This episode celebrates the past, but introduces a brand new idea to the future of the show, and a whole new status quo for the character of the Doctor. You know, you've got the more it feels like the character has been rebooted. The soft and of course he is the same character. He's got all the Doctor's memories, and I do think that final scene in the TARDIS where they're talking to each other and you get all the references to the show in the dialogue. It's very interesting hearing Ncuti Gatwa talk about the key to time and Logopolis and Adric. But I think that was to say, yes, he is the same character, he has all those memories, but the Doctor has kind of ended with David Tennant, and we've got this new Doctor with Ncuti Gatwa, he seems a lot more calmer internally and more self-assured and more secure and more content, and it's very clear that this is a reboot of the show to the same extent that 2005 was a reboot of the show, a soft reboot. It was a reintroduction, and it was a brand new status quo. We know that it's not series 14 we're getting next year, it's season 1. And I think that this bi-generation idea is part of that, because I think Ncuti Gatwa is going to be almost a brand new character, and a lot of the baggage of the past, and I don't mean that in a negative necessarily, but I think a lot of the baggage will be left behind with David Tennant. Will we see David Tennant back as the 14th Doctor? Maybe, but he's just living a normal life. So, but he's still got a TARDIS, you know what I mean? There's two TARDIS. Yeah, I don't know, this idea is weird, isn't it? The bi-generation thing and the two Doctors, and it's very odd, but yeah, I'm intrigued to see where the series goes next. And I enjoyed this. I did enjoy this. I still don't love Russell T Davies' interpretation of Unit, and I did feel that at some points the Doctor was a little bit too snappy and a bit harsh with the guys at Unit near the start. that felt a bit weird to me. But the other thought that came to me then, I wanted to talk about the idea of, there was again a political commentary there from Rusty Davis. That was not subtle at all. I mean, I'm not being funny. They cut to the Prime Minister of the UK saying, "Why should I care about you?" And Donna Noble says, "Well, no change there then." It's very clear to see what Rusty Davis thinks of the politicians we have in government. And I don't really talk politics on this channel, but I'll put it very bluntly, I agree with him in regards to that. And so that was it, fun. But yeah, this is a bit all over the place, isn't it? I feel like I have an obligation to make this video 20 minutes. But I can't do that because my thoughts are so scattershot, and I don't want to keep going, on this thing, on this thing, on this thing. I think what I'm going to do, I've said before, I'm going to do a full review of these 3 specials, and I am going to do that. And so I'm going to rewatch the episode, and within the next couple of weeks, I don't know exactly when, but soon you'll get a review of the 3 specials, and I'm going to write it down a little bit. I don't think I'm going to script it necessarily to the word, but I'm going to write down all the points I want to make about each episode and try and format it in a little bit. And I think I'll have more coherent things to say about this episode then. So look out for that episode, because that video, come in whenever it comes, because my thoughts on this episode as it stands are a bit all over the place, and I don't really want to just talk for the sake of it when I'm not making much sense, particularly. But that's my initial reaction to the Giggle. I enjoyed it. I need to sit with it for a while. I need to rewatch it. I need to make my mind up on how I feel about the big ideas introduced in this, because I just don't know, to be honest, what I think and how I feel. So that'll be, I don't know. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I liked it, basically, and overall for the 3 specials, it's a positive. Of course, I wasn't massively positive to the Star Beast initially, but while beyond that, I really enjoyed, and this was good. So those are my thoughts. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening, not just to this video, but to my reactions for all 3 of the specials. What did you think? I'm going to continue these initial reaction videos, I think, with the upcoming Christmas special, new series, and I hope to see you there. Let me know what you think. Like this video, subscribe, comment, YouTube things, and I apologise that I wasn't able to convey my thoughts more coherently in this video. But look out for my full review of the 3 60th anniversary specials.